I'm going to model evaluating this article with lateral reading. Whenever I come across information online, I'm first going to ask who's behind this information. I see that there's a byline here, Carolina Martin, Florida International University. Now, I could try to do some lateral reading about the author, but in this case, I don't even know what the website is, Odyssey. So I'm going to prioritize investigating that. Lateral reading is a strategy that we want to use flexibly. Sometimes it makes more sense to investigate a single person. That was the case with Lois Beckett from our last example. She had posted on Twitter, and since I already knew what Twitter was and that in order to effectively evaluate information there, I needed to assess the trustworthiness of this individual account, I read laterally about Lois. But with this webpage, Odyssey, I have no clue what Odyssey is, so I need to look into that. To read laterally about Odyssey, let's see, the Odyssey Online, going to conduct a new search and scroll through the first page of search results, doing some click restraint. Based on this first page, I'm seeing what I suspect are two good options, Wikipedia and cnbc.com. Though Wikipedia is often maligned, it can be a good starting place for research because Wikipedia articles often include links to reputable sources that you can use to learn more about a topic or source. But in this case, I see the news outlet CNBC, and the headline appears to read, "Thousands of college students are behind Odyssey clickbait." So that seems like both a reliable and relevant story, and I'm going to click there. So again, the title of this CNBC report is "Thousands of college kids are behind a clickbait publishing platform." And that's in reference to Odyssey. So CNBC calling Odyssey clickbait is definitely making me wary of trusting Odyssey as a source of information. And it says that Odyssey is an expansive platform with 15,000 creators, most of them college students across US campuses. Wow, 15,000. That's a large number of contributors, and that makes me think that there's probably not a lot of fact-checking or editorial oversight going on with Odyssey. Scrolling down to read a bit more. Yeah, it says that there are 60 content strategists busy editing the 15,000 writers who contribute at least one story per week, a task that would be dizzying for even the most prolific of newsrooms. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Odyssey does not follow standards of more traditional journalism outlets, doesn't seem to have fact checkers, it's likely not issuing corrections, etc. And it doesn't appear to have procedures in place to ensure the quality of its articles. So we can't necessarily trust that this is a reliable source of information on the minimum wage. Instead, this article it's likely a single college student's views on the minimum wage. That doesn't mean that it doesn't include some reliable information, perhaps, but it's not an authoritative source, and there are much better sources on the minimum wage that I could very easily find online instead. But I wouldn't have learned about Odyssey, what it is, a clickbait platform, or its lack of journalistic standards if I hadn't read laterally, if I had just stayed on the website itself. Now, I could go back to the search results and confirm or corroborate rather the information about Odyssey Online, but if I were to just sort of come across this article, maybe it was linked to in my social media, and wanted to get a quick fix on it, CNBC calling it clickbait would be enough information for me to know that I shouldn't put a lot of trust in what Odyssey articles have to say.